What if the Earth stopped spinning? The Earth spins. It's such a basic fact that we don't even notice it. But what would happen if that movement, which seems eternal, began to fail? We're not talking about a sudden stop, but a slow, almost imperceptible process that is already happening. We're going to explore, step by step, how a change in the planet's rotation could trigger a chain of catastrophic events. And the most terrifying thing of all, this is already happening. To begin with, the Earth's rotation is slowing down. The main culprit is tidal friction. The moon, with its gravity, pulls on the oceans, creating tides. That friction between the water and the ocean floor acts as a brake, slowly stealing energy from the planet's rotation. This causes the days to lengthen almost imperceptibly. It's estimated that a day gets 1.7 milliseconds longer every century. It's so little that we don't notice it, but the trend is clear. The planet is slowing its spin. But climate change is also playing its part. The melting of the polar ice caps is redistributing the planet's mass. It's like a figure skater extending their arms. By moving water from the poles toward the equator, the Earth widens and slows its spin. And there's more. 42,000 years ago, Earth's magnetic field drastically weakened in an event known as the Lachamps excursion. For centuries, the planet lost its protective shield. The results were catastrophic. The ozone layer was destroyed. Electrical storms ravaged the tropics, and the climate changed violently. This event, which likely contributed to the extinction of the Neanderthals, shows us how fragile our system really is. But what would happen if that slowdown intensified to the point of stopping completely? Imagine that rotation stops completely. The first thing we'd notice would be a radical change in the planet's geography. Rotation generates a centrifugal force that makes the Earth slightly wider at the equator, about 21 kilometers more than at the poles. Without that force, the Earth would become an almost perfect sphere. The ocean water, now accumulated at the equator, would migrate toward the poles. This would create two massive polar oceans and leave a mega-continent around the equator, with vast stretches of dry land emerging. The geography of the world as we know it would disappear, and the climate would be apocalyptic. The Earth's rotation is responsible for the Coriolis effect, which deflects winds and ocean currents. Without rotation, this effect disappears. Climate patterns would collapse. Day and night would no longer exist as we know them. The Earth would continue to orbit the Sun, but by not spinning on its axis, a day would last a year. Half the planet would be 6 months under a scorching sun, reaching temperatures of over 100 degrees Celsius. The other half, 6 months in darkness and freezing cold of minus 100 degrees Celsius. But the final blow, the one that would seal the fate of life on the surface, is related to the magnetic field. This field is generated by the movement of molten iron in the outer core, a phenomenon known as the dynamo effect. Rotation plays a crucial role in organizing these movements. Without rotation, the magnetic field would weaken and eventually collapse. Without it, the planet would be exposed to solar wind and cosmic rays. The atmosphere would begin to be eroded, as is believed to have happened on Mars. The surface would become a sterile and radioactive desert, bombarded by lethal radiation. Life on the surface as we know it would be completely unviable. Not just because of the climate or geography, but because we would be left without our invisible shield. The reality is that a planet without rotation is a sterile planet. Without a magnetic field, without a stable climate, without a day-night cycle, life as we know it could not exist. Earth would become a more extreme version of Mercury, with one side scorched by the sun and the other frozen in eternal darkness. The good news is that this is not going to happen. The sun will expand and engulf the Earth long before rotation stops completely. But this journey shows us how fragile our world is and how much we depend on that constant spin. The next time you feel solid ground beneath your feet, remember that you're traveling at over 1,000 kilometers per hour. Did that blow your mind? The next time you feel the ground steady beneath your feet, remember it's an illusion. We're traveling at over 1,000 kilometers per hour, thanks to a spin that shapes everything we know. If you enjoyed this journey to the end of the world, hit like and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, do you think humanity could survive in that twilight ring? See you in the next video.